Very good noon, everyone. I welcome you all to the 16th session of Abhigya monthly book review series. Before we start our session, I would like to request you all to mute your microphones and not to share your screen for the smooth conduct of the session. In line with the inceptive ideas of Abhigya book review series to inspire young minds to read, we have with us two student speakers today, Ms. Dhwani Thakkar and Ms. Prachi Desai. Ms. Vanita Thakkar is FIBBA student of Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce and Business Administration. She'll be reviewing the book Life's Amazing Secret by Gorgo Paldas. Over to you,
What you
Dhwani.
what?
Dhwani, unmute yourself.
Sorry. Good afternoon, everyone. Myself, Dwani Thakkar. I would first like to thank my college for giving me this opportunity and all the professors. Thank you so much. So, hope you all are doing well. I am going to review the book Life's Amazing Secret by Gaur Gopal Das. So without wasting a time, I would first like to introduce the author of the book, Gaur Gopal Das. You all must be knowing who is Gaur Gopal Das, right? So Gaur Gopal Das is one of the most followed and widely followed monk of our times. Gaur Gopal Das is he has studied engineer, but he is basically a life coach, and he makes videos on YouTube regarding life, how to live life, how to be positive in life, how to face every problems in life, and he is a great motivational speaker. I must say that. So गौर गोपाल दास एक ऐसी पर्सनालिटी है जो बहुत अच्छे वीडियोस यूट्यूब पे बनाते हैं और ट्विटर पे यूट्यूब पे हर जगह पे वो पोस्ट करते हैं, और उनके वीडियो से मैं पर्सनली बहुत इन्फ्लुएंस हुई हूँ. एंड आई वुड लाइक टू से दैट he is the great personality, I should say. So this is the introduction of the author. Now I would like to start with the review of the book. The book name is Life's Amazing Secret. So basically, this book is divided into four parts. That is your personal life, your professional life, your relationships, and your social contribution towards the society. So Gaur Gopal Das beautifully illustrates in this book that your happiness does not resides in materialistic things. Yes, happiness do resides in materialistic things, but that happiness is permanent happiness. If you want to be happy throughout your life till you die, your soul should be happy, right? So he beautifully illustrates that how to be positive in your life, how to face problems in your life, and how to be happy, because when you will be happy, when you will be positive, you can face every problems in your life very easily, very smoothly. So this as I said, this book is basically divided into four parts. I'll first start with the personal life. Your personal life means what you are facing. समटाइम्स पर्सनल लाइफ में क्या होता है कि ऐसी कोई बात होती है जो हम कभी किसी फ्रेंड से या किसी से शेयर नहीं कर पाते हैं, और हमारे जैसे कि हमारे भी जो फ्रेंड्स होते हैं वो कभी कभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हमें भी शेयर नहीं कर पाते. तो ही टीचेस अस इन दिस बुक दैट you should be very kind with somebody, like your friends or whomsoever you are talking with. You should be kind, and you don't know what the other person is going through. So you need to be very kind, calm, polite, and just ask them ki how's your life going on, because nowadays if you call somebody or if you ask them how's their life is going, I should say that 60 or 70% people will never say that their life is going beautiful, amazing. 60% of the young generation will say, I am depressed, I am stressed, I am tensed, यार लाइफ में कुछ अच्छा नहीं चल रहा है, ये हो रहा है, वो हो रहा है. तो they are like कि always complaining about life. बट इन दिस बुक गौर गोपाल दास ब्यूटीफुली सेज दैट कि हम जिन लोगों को भी मिले, यू डोंट नो कि व्हाट दे आर फेसिंग इन देयर पर्सनल लाइफ, तो हमें उनसे शांति से कामली काइंडली बात करना चाहिए, और उनको एटलीस्ट इफ यू कैन नॉट हेल्प देम इन देयर लाइफ, तो एटलीस्ट यू शुड से दैट कि यार कुछ भी होगा आई एम विथ यू। तो इतने बोलने से उनके लाइफ में बहुत अच्छा इम्पैक्ट हो सकता है। यू शुड एटलीस्ट से दैट नो मैटर वॉट एवर आई विल बी देयर फॉर यू, आई विल हेल्प यू। सो दैट थिंग will impact very beautifully in their life, very positively. So they will think at least somebody is there with me. So personal, here comes the personal life is you don't know. At last I will say that कि personal life में तुम्हें नहीं मालूम कि सामने वाला person क्या चीज से गुजर रहा है. So you should be very calm, kind to that person. बिकॉज आजकल की जनरेशन, इन दैट जनरेशन आई ऑल्सो कम, ऐसी हो गई है कि सब लोग छोटी छोटी बात पे गुस्सा हो जाते हैं, छोटी छोटी बात पे अग्रेसिव हो जाते हैं, इरिटेट हो जाते हैं, एंड दे बी लाइक फ्रस्ट्रेट हो गया हूँ, इरिटेट हो गया हूँ. नो, यू शुड बी काम, यू शुड बी पोलाइट, यू शुड in this book Gaur Gopalas also says that if you are facing through some problems, if you are going through some problems, you should start doing meditation, you should do the things which you love more. So you will be getting in that phase, you will divert your mind, right? So here completes the personal life point. Then next we will go to your go to the point, work life, professional life. So in professional life what goes on कि जो businessmen होते हैं, entrepreneurs होते हैं, employees होते हैं, so they go through very big problems. Like अभी recent का example ले लेते हैं, COVID की वजह से most of the employees are getting their 60 or 70% of the salary, right? सो उन लोग बहुत टेंशन में आ जाते हैं, दे बी इन टेंशन कि व्हाट विल बी हैपनिंग, हाउ थिंग्स विल बी वर्किंग फॉर देम, हाउ दे विल एजुकेट देयर चिल्ड्रंस. So in this Gaur Gopal Das very beautifully illustrates that you should never be negative in your life. You should never be negative does not mean that you will neglect negative things in your life. You should face negative, but while simultaneously you should have to face positive things in your life. It is not something that you will see only on the negative side, right? So he says that कि ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम्हें सिर्फ नेगेटिव चीजों को फेस करना है और अपने आप को ब्लेम करना है, सिचुएशंस को ब्लेम करना है. नो, यू शुड फेस नेगेटिव, नो डाउट नेगेटिव सिचुएशंस हर एक की लाइफ में आती है. इट इज नॉट समथिंग कि नेगेटिव सिचुएशन किसी की लाइफ में नहीं आती है या गलत किसी के साथ नहीं होता है. एवरीबडी गोज थ्रू दिस, बट ही सेज दैट कि I am saying don't focus on negative does not mean you will neglect negative things in your life. You have to focus on the positive things which are happening on your day to day life also. So he says that ki work life is also very very complicated. You meet new people. If business entrepreneurs are there, they meet new employees in their life, they meet everybody new, everyone new day to day. So he also says that ki the kind wala thing, like you have to be kind with everyone, that thing is applicable on every phase of your life. You have to be kind with your parents, your relatives, your employees, your friends, everybody. So that will give a very positive impact in their life. Like as I said कि बहुत सारे लोग होते हैं कि बहुत इरिटेट हो जाते हैं छोटी छोटी बात को लेके. So this is all about professional life. He says कि you just have to be positive. और ऐसा नहीं है कि ये बुक में सिर्फ ऐसे बोलते हैं ना कि भाषण दिया हुआ है या लेक्चर दिया हुआ है. नो, ये बुक में एक बहुत ब्यूटीफुली जो उनकी लाइफ में वो एक्सपीरियंस की है उन्होंने, जो स्टोरीज, वो स्टोरीज के थ्रू उन्होंने ये बुक में बहुत अच्छी चीजें समझाई है. इट इज नॉट समथिंग लाइक कि ओनली लेक्चर्स आर गिवन. इट इज लाइक कि उन्होंने जो पर्सनली उनकी लाइफ में एक्सपीरियंस किया है वो स्टोरीज के थ्रू उन्होंने यहाँ पे समझाया है. सो इफ यू थिंक कि if we understand something through a story, स्टोरी हमें समझ आता है कि हाँ ये चीज हमें समझ आई है, और कुछ स्टोरी के थ्रू हमें कोई समझाता है तो वी अंडरस्टैंड कि यस दिस इज राइट और दिस इज रॉन्ग। तो सेम एज कि ये बुक में भी स्टोरीज के थ्रू सारे चैप्टर्स एक्सप्लेन किए गए हैं। एंड इट इज नॉट अ बनी बनाई हुई स्टोरी, बनी बनाई हुई स्टोरी नहीं है। इसमें उन्होंने जितनी भी स्टोरीज मेंशन की है वो सारी स्टोरीज, वो सारी चीजें उनकी लाइफ में हुई हुई है, और उन्होंने वो सिचुएशन से जो एक्सपीरियंस किया है वो इन्होंने यहाँ पे इलस्ट्रेट करके बताया है कि मैंने ये सिचुएशन से ये चीज सीखी थी। सो नेक्स्ट वी विल गो टू द थर्ड फेज ऑफ दिस बुक, दैट इज योर रिलेशनशिप्स। So relationships does not mean कि your relationship with boyfriend or girlfriend. No, here relationship means your relationship with your parents, your relatives, your family members, or your friends, or anybody, your relationship with anybody. So here he says that कि in relationships also you face many things, like कभी किसी से झगड़ा हो जाता है, या यू फाइट विद समबडी, और whenever you want them they don't be available for you. So in that phase you don't have to get sad, you have to be like कि that's fine. If somebody is not with you, you are enough for yourself, you don't need anybody. When you were born there was nobody with you, and when you will die there will be nobody with you coming with you. Okay, कोई तुम्हारे साथ मरने के वक्त भी नहीं आएगा, और जब तुम बॉर्न हुए थे तभी भी तुम्हारे साथ कोई नहीं था। तो ही ब्यूटीफुली सेज दैट कि जब रिलेशनशिप्स में कभी कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स आते हैं, जब अगर अभी आज के स्टूडेंट्स कैसे होते हैं कि अगर पेरेंट्स आर सेइंग कि बेटा तुम मोबाइल यूज मत करो, तो दे गेट एंग्री, दे बी लाइक कि यार माय मॉम इज सेइंग दिस, माय डैड इज सेइंग। सो ही इज सेइंग दैट कि तुम्हें कभी भी कोई चीज को लेके नेगेटिव नहीं सोचना चाहिए। यू हैव टू बी ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव अबाउट द थिंग्स, यू हैव टू थिंक इन अ पॉजिटिव वे कि वो हमें क्यों बोल रहे हैं। So this book is very good, very good. I must say that कि everybody should read this book. और ऐसा नहीं कि this book is for today's generation only. Whatever he has written in this book, it is about for all age groups. Like छोटे बच्चे से लेके बूढ़े तक, like old age group भी read कर सकते हैं, because this book is about how to balance your life equally, being happy, sad, positive, negative, everything. This book is so beautiful. I should say that I have read this book twice, and I feel like yaar, this book is so beautiful. It has taught me so many things. Basically um सबसे अच्छी बात मैंने ये बुक से ये सीखी है कि आई वॉज सच कि मैं बहुत जल्दी गुस्सा हो जाती थी। आई वॉज लाइक कि आई यूज टू गेट एंग्री वेरी इजीली। इफ समवन डू मी दिस आई विल गेट एंग्री। तो आई वॉज सच, बट दिस बुक हैज टॉट मी that you should not be angry with everybody, you should not get angry, you should be stay calm, you should stay positive in your life. And as I said, yes, you don't have to be selfish. अगर तुम मतलब से करोगे ना तो you will be feeling guilt, आज नहीं तो कल you will be feeling guilt from inside कि इधर आई शुड हैव नॉट डन दैट। अगर मतलब से ही करना था तो मुझे नहीं करना था ऐसा। तो ही सेज दैट कि अगर तुम्हें करना ही है कुछ, ये मतलब ये सोसाइटी के लिए, इधर जो लोग रह रहे हैं उनके लिए अगर तुम्हें कुछ करना ही है, देन डू इट फ्रॉम योर हार्ट। व्हाई यू आर डूइंग फॉर गेनिंग प्रॉफिट इन रिटर्न? डू इट फ्रॉम योर हार्ट एंड यू विल बी लिविंग पीसफुली। you all must have noticed sometime that अगर तुम किसी को थोड़ी सी भी हेल्प कर देते हो ना कोई भी चीज में मतलब के बिना, तो यू विल बी फीलिंग वेरी हैप्पी। बट हैप्पी इन द सेंस कि नॉट लाइक दैट हैप्पी कि हाँ मैं खुश हूँ ये वो, बट योर सोल विल बी फीलिंग हैप्पी। एंड एट द एंड ऑफ द डे what matters the most is you are happy or not, your soul is happy or not. So in this book he is illustrating this thing very beautifully कि at the end of the day what matters the most is your soul should be happy. It is not something कि तुम करने के खातिर कर रहे हो, you should be happy and your soul should be happy. और तुम्हारे करने से अगर कोई और लोग इंस्पायर हो रहे हैं करने के लिए, तो दैट इज अ वेरी ग्रेट थिंग, दैट इज अ वेरी बिग थिंग. एंड आई शुड से कि ये बुक में है ना, आई हैव रेड इट ट्वाइस, और दिस बुक हैज taught me so many things like sometimes हम लोग किसी की physically मदद नहीं कर सकते. Like if your friend, you are in India and if your friend is somewhere out of the country, from out of India, so he is calling you, he or she is calling you and saying कि मैं ये प्रॉब्लम में हूँ, मैं वो हूँ, तो तुम वहां पे उसको जाके फिजिकली हेल्प नहीं कर सकते हो, पर तुम एटलीस्ट उनको ये तो बोल सकते हो ना कि कुछ भी हो जाए तो मुझे कभी भी कॉल कर सकता है या कर सकती है, आई विल बी देयर फॉर यू. तो साइलेंट प्रेजेंस इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट देन अ मिलियन एम्प्टी वर्ड्स. मतलब एक तुम्हारा ये बोलने से तुम भले 1000 शब्द, 1000 बातें उसको समझा लो, 100 बातें उसको समझा लो, पर वो कोई काम की नहीं है. अगर तुम सिर्फ इतना बोल दोगे ना कि आई एम देयर फॉर यू, तो इट विल बी अ वेरी गुड थिंग. सो ही सेज लाइक साइलेंट प्रेजेंस इज more important than 1,000 million empty words. And next thing I should say कि ये book I'll suggest everyone to read this book at least once in a life. I'll show you the book. You all can take a screenshot of this book. Life's Amazing Secret by Gorgo Paldas. And if anybody have any questions, then they can ask me in the chat box. I'll reply. और किसी ने अगर ये बुक रीड भी की है तो मुझे एक बार बताओ कि किसने ये बुक रीड की है.
Dhwani will take up a question at the end of the session.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you so much for beautifully explaining how to deal with different situations in life from the perspective of one of the very well-known spiritual guru of our time. Thank you so much, Dhwani.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Uh, our next speaker is Miss Gandhi, Miss Prachi Gandhi. She has completed bachelor's degree from VNSGU in Human Resource Development. She has certification in Human Resource Management from College, Canada. She is currently pursuing public relations at Seneca College, Canada. She has her website where she talks about different characters from different movies. She'll be reviewing the book Not Without My Daughter by Betty Mahmoodi and William Hofer. Thank you so much, Prachi, for spending time for us and connecting with us all the way from Canada. Over to you, Prachi.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for such a nice introduction. Just wanted to confirm if you guys can hear my voice or not.
Yes, yes, you're audible.
And my screen is viewable.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. So first of all, I would like to congratulate all of you. Now, not because that you have survived year 2020. Of course, I mean, that's a very big deal. But you all are here investing your time in something very good and not wasting your time. Also, you are one of the readers, or maybe trying to become one reader, and that is very important. You are making an effort to do something, which is something really great. Honestly, if I tell, I was never a reader, and I made some efforts to become one because for me, reading wasn't something that I like to do. Like, I mean, who like to read book? Come on. But I made an effort to become one because I knew that if I become a reader, if I'll have a habit of reading books, then it will give me a very good personality. It will change my perspective towards life. And obviously it did. It did happen. So just stay whatever you are doing, just keep doing whatever you are pursuing, and you will get there soon. So just don't stop doing it. Okay. So before I begin with my book reviewing, I would like to recite a poem which is written by Palash Maya. And according to the author, he wrote this poem when he was very young. He didn't knew how to how to write a poem and he wasn't requalified for it, but he wrote it in a very childish way. And whenever he tells this poem to his audience, he wants his audience to just listen this poem in a very childish way. So let's just put our minds aside for now and get back to our childhood and just be in that sense. Okay. सच कहते हैं कि जिंदगी मिलना ना आसान है और जिसने मुझे जिंदगी दी हाँ वही मेरी माँ है जब पहली बार देखा उसको तो उसका चेहरा खिला था कि आंखों में मेरे आंसू थे और मेरे रूप में उसे एक बेटी मिली थी जब मैं हंसूं तो वो हंस देती है जब मैं रोऊं तो वो रो देती है कितनी नासमझ थी मैं मुझे भी पता था कि माँ क्या होती है ना हाथ से निवाला उठाया जाता था ना पैरों से खुद चला जाता था जब माँ के हाथ की अहमियत क्या तब मुझे पता लग जाता था रोना तो मेरे लिए बहुत आसान होता था पर आंसू पोंछने के लिए उसी का हाथ आगे आता था जब थोड़ी बड़ी हुई तब लगा कि रिश्ते भी बहुत होते हैं जब थोड़ी बड़ी हुई तब लगा कि रिश्ते भी बहुत होते हैं लेकिन हर रिश्ते माँ के बाद ही होते हैं जब अकेली रही जिंदगी में जब अकेली रही जिंदगी में तो उसकी याद आई जब अंधेरे में थी तो उसकी याद आई जब भूख लगी तो उसकी याद आई और जब नींद ना आई तो उसकी याद आई सोचने में कितनी आसान लगती है ये जिंदगी जब खुद से जीना सीखा तो उसकी याद आई तभी लगा कि माँ इतनी बेमतलब कैसे हो सकती है कि हमसे ज्यादा हमारे लिए कैसे सो सकती है लेकिन सच तो ये है कि वो माँ ही होती है जो हमारा पेट भर कर खुद भूखा सो सकती है जब अकेली निकली थी जिंदगी की दौड़ में तब उसका हाथ फिर याद आया इस बार बस अकेली रोती हूँ और आंसू पोंछने भी कोई नहीं आया अब तो सीख लिया था खाना और अब तो चल भी खुद लेती हूँ बड़ी खुद को कितना भी समझ लूं पर अभी भी मैं उसी की बेटी हूँ कि खुश हमारी खुशी खुशी में और परेशान हमारे दुख में होती है और सामने हमारे हंसती है फिर पीछे उतना ही रोती है अब माँ एक बात कहती हूँ तुझसे इसके बाद मुझे कुछ मत कहना कि जिंदगी में तू मेरे साथ है मेरी मौत पे भी मेरे साथ ही रहना So by now you must be knowing that my session is going to be about a relationship between a mother and a daughter. And the smart ones already knew by reading the title of the book, which is Not Without My Daughter. Just kidding. So, this book is about a mother escaping her life. Sorry, this book is about a mother escaping her daughter from her abusive husband in Iran, 1977. When Indira Gandhi resigned from her office, New York went blackout, Apple II computer went on sale. We also had cyclone in India, which killed around 20,000 and left 2 million homeless. While in 1977 everything was happening in this world, this woman was all alone fighting her own battle. And yes, it is a biographical book, so everything written in this book is all true. This book is available in Gujarati, Marathi, and English language. I'm not quite sure if it's available in Hindi or not, but I think it should be available in Hindi if it's available in Marathi. I read it in Gujarati because I always feel that reading in your own language gives you a whole different perspective. I was devoted after reading it. Betty Mahamudi and William Hoffer are the authors of this book. Betty Mahamudi is an American author and a public speaker. Now, she always writes book about a mother with her kid, like a daughter or her son, and escaping from some bad happenings around them. So her genre is kind of this, and she always write a book about this kind of stories. And this book, especially this book, is about Betty herself and her daughter Mehtu. Now let's see what the book is about. So this is how the story begins. Betty and her husband, Muri, happily got married and living their life in Detroit, US. Now, Muri was from Iran and his family was still there, but he didn't like Iranian culture or the lifestyle of Iran, and that's why he decided to move to US and he studied medical in US. Then he got married to Betty and they now have a daughter called Mathu. So one day, all of a sudden, from nowhere, Moody decides that he wants to visit his family and he wants to go back to Iran just for a few days. And Betty was okay with that. Why wouldn't she? She just said that, yeah, I'm like, she really understood her situation that he might want to visit his family and all. So she agreed. Now listen to me carefully when I say that they book a return ticket to Iran. So the day they arrived at Iran airport, Muri took passport from Betty and Mehtoub. So now remember, Betty don't have a passport with her. The only thing she knew is that she is flying back to US on this particular date. And now everything is new to her. The country, the people, their ritual, their values, everything is new. So she started meeting his family, she started greeting everybody, but no one really liked her because of course she was from US and at that point of time no one really liked the Westerners and the US people. So everybody from Moody's family wasn't liking Betty and they treated her like that only. So they gave her the their clothes, their original clothes they wear in Iran, which is a full gown and something to cover their face. And they made her understood that you have to wear this clothes only. You cannot do some particular things like you cannot go out and you have to respect this things and their values. They just in short explain Betty that what she should be doing in Iran while she's in Iran. Now to accept and live in Iranian culture was becoming very difficult for Betty, and she was counting her days to the return flight. Now on the other hand, Moody's behavior, his values totally changed the day he landed in Iran. Now Betty was shocked that how come Moody has changed so much. But then she again thought that okay, anyways I'm living in few days, so it doesn't really matters, and she just hoped that everything will be fine. On the day of their flight back, he told Moody told Betty that now Betty and Mehtoub is never going to go back to Detroit, US. They are going to live in Iran for rest of their life. And that particular moment changed whole life of Betty. She, at some point of time, she was okay to stay in Iran, but she wasn't okay for her daughter to stay in Iran because for her daughter was everything, and she knew that her daughter deserves a better life. She won't be able to live in Iran. And from very that day, her fight began to get out of there. I mean, just think about it. Even in today's date, if someone asks us to live in a very conservative environment where everyone hates us, we are not allowed to do what our hearts say, we would just think of getting out of there. We would definitely think of that. Now, my favorite part from this book was that when Betty came to know that she's not going to get out of Iran, she tried. She fought back. She secretly kept trying, and kept trying. There were times when she failed. Her husband caught her, her relatives, her family members caught her, and they beat her up. Like they used to lock her in a room, they used to beat her up in front of her daughter. And this all things actually happened. This is not something someone just wrote. No, this did happen. But even after all the failures, Betty never stopped. She went to the embassy. She went to all the people she thought they could help. She didn't even knew anyone in the Iran. But even after that, she fought just for her daughter. And after a many trial and error session, she got one opportunity where where they said that okay, we'll get back to you to US, and she was like, okay, fine, I'll do whatever you ask me to do, but just get me and my daughter back to US. And they said that we only have 1 year to live. The road they are traveling is not safe enough for a child to travel, and that's why they cannot take Mahtub with them. And that moment, Betty snapped and she said that if I'm leaving this country, my daughter is living with me. And if my daughter is not leaving this country, I'm not leaving. And in that moment, you just feel that how much her daughter means to her, and everything she's doing is just to save her daughter. She wasn't ready to leave her daughter alone in a very unknown country by herself. She had an option. If she would have choose to leave her daughter alone, she had an option to get her daughter back by filing a divorce or filing a case on Moody, and then she would just ask for her daughter's custody. But it was a clear risk which she wasn't ready to take, because somewhere in her heart she knew that if I leave my daughter here, if I ran away, then Moody will not forgive my daughter, and Moody could have done anything to her daughter, or I would say anything to their daughter. She had lost all her trust from Moody. And that part became very crucial for me, that now what will happen if she has refused this only chance to going back to US, then how she and her daughter are gonna survive this. In this book, it is very detailed and very clearly they have written everything. They have described the culture, they have described the values, they have described the emotional of the person, they have described all the thoughts they are going through, and how Moody has abused Patty and her daughter. Everything is described and in detail that you cannot resist but just keep reading. And yes, how can I forget telling you guys that this was my first book which I completed the whole, because as I said that I was trying to be a reader and I never was a natural reader. So I always read half of the book, or I always read 2 3 chapters of the book and I would just throw it away. But like, this was the first book which I completed, and I felt so overwhelming after reading this book. This book left me speechless, and whatever Betty has accomplished in her life, whatever she did for her daughter, was speechless. So here I'm not going to tell you the whole story that what happened after that. Did they got out of there or not? If they got out, did they survive or not? Did they died? Because remember, 1977, it was a world full of violence. Iranis and all the Middle East countries, they hated the Westerners. They hate the US because they think that they have stolen their freedom and stuff like that. So they hated them. So do you think they have died during the journey? Did they survive? What happened? And if you want to know that what happened, you have to read the book. You don't have any option. I mean, so this is a true story of one woman's struggle to keep her child and win freedom for them both. Thank you so much, guys, for being here and listening to me so peacefully and so calmly. Thank you. If you would like to contact me further, or if you have any questions, you can also ask me in the Q&A sessions. And if you like to ask me anything else, you can contact me via this mediums. Thank you so much. Over to you, Neha ma'am. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Prachi, for picking up this book and narrating the story of mother who is ready to sacrifice everything to save her daughter. Needless to say, it's one of the favorite read in my list. Thank you so much again, Prachi, for joining us today. Now we'll pick up few questions if we have any question on Google Meet or on YouTube. Okay, we don't have any question for both the speakers. So behalf of Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce and Business Administration, I would like to thank both the speakers of today's Abhigya book review session. Thank you so much, Prachi and Vani, for sparing time for us. Now I would like to request Mr. Shivang Mehta to deliver vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, one and all. Respected Principal Dr. Abhilasa Agrawal ma'am and all the participants. It is my privilege to propose a vote of thanks for this 16th session of Abhigya Book Review Series on behalf of Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce and our library committee. First of all, I thank both the speaker, both Prachi and Dhwani. Your book review was wonderful. It was very, you have chosen a right book at the right time. I also wish to express my sincere gratitude to Principal Dr. Abhilasa Agrawal ma'am Madam for their support and our management for their unconditional support for this Abhigya book review series. I am thankful to my colleague and secretary of library secretary library committee Neha ma'am for their all the session of Abhigya book review and their her devotion to the Abhigya book review series for conducting such a wonderful programs for all the library readers. I would like to extend my special thanks to our technical team, Ms. Krina Desai and Mrs. Bhumi Desai, for the technical support, YouTube Live, and this Google Meets and certification. I would also like to thank both my colleagues of teaching and non-teaching colleagues of Vanita Vishram Women's College of Commerce for their all support, and class teachers and class mentor for making awareness among the students for this book review and book reading. Last but not the least, I will thank each and every participants who joined this session. Feedback link will be shared in the groups later on. Thank you very much. Officially, you can now leave the meeting.